What if the love of your life was just a shadow of someone you could never forget? For 3 years, my girlfriend couldn't let go of her first love. She had a locked room in her house, a promise she made to the one who came before me. As long as that person returned, there would always be a space for her. Again and again, she left me for her. The last time, I left only a breakup message and vanished without a trace. She lost her mind searching for me across the world. Eventually, at a graveyard, she learned the truth, pointing to a black and white photo. Nora Blake asked me, the hostage who looked uncannily like her. Ethan Vale, every time you look at me, who do you see? On Clara Wren's birthday, I invited a few of her closest friends home to surprise her. As the party hit its peak, they pushed us together, urging a kiss. Clara, you should treasure a boyfriend this thoughtful, someone shouted. Her eyes sparkled as she leaned in, and I lowered my head, ready to meet her halfway amid the cheers. But just as our lips were about to touch, the door burst open. A soaked woman stood there. It was Clara Wren. I turned toward the door and saw a face that mirrored mine. Clara, she said softly, intimately. Clara was stunned. Then her expression changed. Why are you wet? Go inside and change. One of our friends chimed in before I could speak. I greeted her instinctively. Nora Blake, it's been a while. Why are you back all of a sudden? She gave a small smile. Long time no see. Clara's eyes never left Nora. She didn't glance at me. I wanted to ask who she really was, but I kept quiet. Nora walked straight upstairs. That locked room Clara had told me to never approach. She opened it easily with a key she knew well. When she returned, dressed in dry clothes, she sat calmly beside the table. One of our friends, clearly drunk, placed his arm around her like it was nothing. Nora, stay longer this time. The Wren family always has a room for you. It's fun. You've always got someone here. Honestly, you two should just get married already. Clara coughed and leaned closer to me, trying to dispel the tension. Ethan, thank you for making today so special. Her voice was soft. Even with this orchid scent, I feel cold all over. I always knew Nora Blake was Clara Wren's unforgettable first love. When Clara started her company, Nora quit her high-paying job to support her. Even now, after years apart, Clara's friends were still fond of Nora. They laughed and reminisced while I silent. Subconsciously, I reached for my phone to check the time. The screen lit up with Clara Wren's smiling face, arched eyebrows, lips slightly parted, eyes that always made my heart skip a beat. Last night, the wound from the key still ached. Clara gently slipped her hand into mine, her tone soft. Ethan, she whispered, the scent of orchids enveloping me once more. Her hand rested on my waist. I sighed. Why aren't you angry? You should be yelling at me. I looked down, then turned and embraced her, resting my forehead against her chest. I sighed gently. I don't resent your money. I don't resent your love. Clara Wren, as long as I can see you, that's enough. As I left home, I noticed the storage room door was ajar. Clara subtly blocked my view, cupped my face, and kissed me. I swallowed my question. The weather forecast had predicted a mix of sun and clouds, but as I was about to leave work, it suddenly turned into a downpour. Clara hadn't come to the office that day. I sent her a message. Are you free? Can you come pick me up? No reply. As I wrapped up my work, I realized I was the only one left in the office. The rain was relentless. I stepped outside, immediately drenched. The wind cutting through my soaked clothes. University of Lynchburg +1. The New Yorker +1. I remembered. Nora Blake was afraid of thunder. That message had been sent half an hour ago. Clara never took this long to respond. I dialed her number. After about 30 seconds, someone answered, but it wasn't Clara. A woman's voice, lazy and indifferent. Hey, the cold wind made me sneeze. Where's Clara Wren? Nora Blake sneezed as well. She's making ginger soup. I just got back and got caught in the rain. The rain intensified. I tried to steady my nerves. Can you ask her to come pick me up? I didn't bring an umbrella. There was a pause. I'm sorry. I'm a bit scared. I'll have her come over when the thunder stops. The dynamics between us had shifted. I couldn't tell who was Clara's boyfriend anymore. Then please give her the phone. I heard her call out. Nora, Your boyfriend says he didn't bring an umbrella. Can you pick him up? Silence followed, then the sound of rustling. Nora Blake spoke again, her voice quiet. It's not for me, but I don't want you to go. Wikipedia +1 Oxford International English Schools +1 Another long silence. Eventually, Clara picked up. Ethan, I'm sorry. I'll pick you up later. Wait for me at the office. She hung up. The humid weather stirred up old memories. Even the bruises on my arms seemed to ache anew. In the heavy rain, I realized I couldn't wait for Clara Wren. Wikipedia +2 Reddit +2 CommonGroundInternational.com +2 I waited until late at night. Everyone else had left. The person who came to pick me up wasn't Clara. A familiar car pulled up. Derek Finch, Clara's friend, was behind the wheel. We weren't particularly close. I got in, shivering from the cold. The wind had chilled me to the bone. After a while, Derek spoke. She can't let go. I looked up, meeting his eyes in the rearview mirror. My mind was foggy. Clara asked you to come? I didn't come because I was with Nora Blake. I didn't know how to respond. I tried to smile. You saw it. Derek chuckled. They've been entangled for years. It's hard to break free. He looked at me again. Why aren't they together? Because Nora Blake has a thorn in her heart. Clara Wren offended someone, and the revenge fell on Nora. She missed the chance to see her mother one last time. She carries that pain. It's hard to distinguish love from hate. And Clara feels guilty, always trying to make amends. His tone was calm, but his words cut deep. You can never come between them. I said nothing, staring out the window at the passing cars and the rain. My mind drifted back to the day I first met Clara. Not long after I joined the company, a colleague invited me to dinner. Clara happened to pass by, and someone jokingly asked her to join. She looked at me, her eyes smiling. Everyone thought it was a joke, but she agreed. My heart skipped a beat. Later, Clara paid for the meal. When I tried to reimburse her, she stopped me. No need, she said. You can treat me next time. Her eyes held a certain tenderness. Later, she admitted that day was her way of asking me out. After we started dating, she would sit in my lap, smiling mischievously. Ethan, she said, the first time I saw you, I liked you. When Derek's car pulled up to my building, the rain had lessened. He opened an umbrella and walked me to the door. If you really break up with her, it might be awkward to work at her company. You can come to me, he said, handing me a business card. I took it. Is this a job offer? Derek remained calm. Your work is excellent. You're strong wherever you go. Just making a reservation in advance. Before I could respond, Clara's voice came from behind. I'm a little cold. He won't go. Caught off guard, I turned around. Clara rubbed my cheek, her nails pressing into my skin. My hands and feet were cold, but where she touched was warm. Her forehead was clear, but she looked troubled. I looked at her seriously. Let's break up. No, she didn't hesitate. Her expression darkened. Is it because of Nora Blake? She'll leave tomorrow. It's not because of her. Her voice grew louder. My head throbbed. I didn't want to tell her. A second before I lost consciousness, I saw a vague figure running toward me. So familiar it made me call out without thinking. Lila Dawn. Maybe it was raining. A cold wind blew past me, slicing through my coat. My body had never been strong. Fever swept over me like wildfire. When I woke up the next morning, I heard Clara Wren on the phone in the next room. Sorry, I can't come in today. He's sick. I have to take care of him. I couldn't sleep again. Drifted off only to wake up when someone changed the damp towel on my forehead. I didn't know when it happened. Just that my throat burned. I was parched. The towel was dry now. Heat pulsing in my limbs. I tried to call Clara. My voice was gone. She wasn't there. The water cup sat at the edge of the nightstand, just out of reach. I forced myself to sit up. My limbs were useless, trembling. As I leaned toward the cup, the blanket slipped. I reached, then fell. The floor slammed into me like a wave. Pain flared everywhere, but no one came. Through the fevered fog, I saw her. A face that looked like Clara's, but softer, younger. Dimples appeared when she smiled. Ethan, she whispered, you have to live. You have to live well. Lila Dawn, I wanted to say, but no sound came. Just dry, Cracked breath. Don't go, Lila. When I opened my eyes again, I was in a hospital. The fever had broken. A sterile white ceiling hovered above me. I turned toward the sound of a voice. Clara Wren sat nearby, holding a glass of water. Ethan, you burned so badly this time. Her voice was soft, almost breaking. Her brows were drawn together. She handed me the water. My throat burned as I swallowed. When I got back, you weren't in bed. Why were you on the floor? I didn't answer. Her eyes drifted to my arm. A silence fell. Then, Ethan, why are there scars on your hand? I blinked. The old cross-shaped scars. Like little ugly insects on my skin. I didn't want to go there. So I asked instead, where were you? I heard you say you were staying home to take care of me. A pause. Something came up at work. Liar. I already knew. The first night Nora Blake came back, Clara had told me she was going to the amusement park with her. The date was today. She had called Nora. Clara froze. I looked at her. Let's break up, I said. No. She didn't even hesitate. Her hand grasped mine tightly. Ethan, please don't. What about Nora? She's getting married. Her parents arranged it. The guy's suitable. The date's been set. She only came back to say goodbye. She's leaving today. Clara's voice trembled. Her face blurred, but her red-rimmed eyes were crystal clear. I felt like a villain in someone else's love story. I should have been angry. But looking at Clara's face, all my fire faded. I sighed. I didn't mention it again. After that day, Nora Blake vanished again. Her room was locked, untouched, as if she'd never returned. Clara and I seemed to fall back into old rhythms. But locked doors don't mean forgotten keys. I met Nora again during a business trip abroad. She didn't care about me, not really, but her presence was enough to make me feel shame. She showed up at the hotel restaurant, sat across from me like it was nothing. What a coincidence, I said stiffly. Nora smiled, bent her lips just a little. Not really, I came for you. I chased you from Clara. Her gaze met mine, cool, direct. Do you love Clara Wren? I didn't answer. Her smile grew sharper. I hate this. I can't let it go. I want to torture her. Clara didn't move on after you. But when I heard she was with you, I was surprised. Then I saw your photo. Her expression twisted. A bitter joy lit her eyes. She can't let go of me. Either. And that made me happy. Ethan Vale. I'm going to take her back. 4 days later, I returned home. Clara met me at the airport with my favorite dessert. I was exhausted and set it aside. She didn't mind, just smiled at me. Let's run away together. Just the two of us. I said, I'll even buy you that leather jacket. She started to answer, but her phone rang. I saw the name. Nora. Clara looked at me, hesitated. I moved to plug in my headphones. But she caught my hand. Then I heard it. Clara, I'm getting married. Can you come? On the 8th? Clara's eyes met mine, wide. Uncertain. She blinked and finally said, okay. We went to Nora Blake's wedding together. I had wanted to skip it. But Clara insisted. Are you my boyfriend or not? She snapped. Or just a placeholder? I didn't answer, because we both already knew the truth. The wedding was beautiful, lively, full of elegance. Guests whispered about the bride. You know, Derek really adores her. She designed everything herself. I wiped my mouth and glanced at Clara. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. Ethan, she whispered, what kind of wedding do you want? I hadn't thought about it. The future had always been a question mark. I used to believe, if the right person stayed by my side, that would be enough. Clara nudged me. If we get married, it'll be however you want it. Okay? I wanted to say, we won't get married. But then someone spoke on the mic, a cold female voice. Clara Wren, I don't want to marry him. As long as you want it. Let's leave. Now. All eyes turned to Nora Blake. Gasps, murmurs, shock, laughter, anger. Time froze. Clara looked at Nora, and Nora looked right back. Like two constellations that had never stopped orbiting each other. And I was just a satellite passing through. Clara Wren, I called out, breathless, standing at the center of chaos. I figured it out. I don't care about the past. If you still want this today, let's be together. I don't want to marry anyone else. I don't want a lifetime with someone I don't love. I love you. Clara Wren, let's leave together. Please. The wedding stage had descended into disarray. I could hear elders weeping, trying to stop her. Life was like a rising tide, swallowing everything slowly. Clara stood still, her hands clenched tightly as if holding on to something invisible. Pain seemed to radiate through the air. I couldn't breathe. Then suddenly, she let go. I watched her rise to her feet. The crowd erupted, angry voices scolding Nora Blake for ruining the ceremony, condemning Clara Wren's ex-girlfriend for not showing up, blaming me for not protecting my girlfriend. The pressure in my chest built to a breaking point, but all I could do was stare at the empty space she left behind. Clara Wren reached for Nora Blake's hand and led her out. A few people tried to follow, but she pressed the gas pedal hard and sped off. The silence in the car was deafening. Nora didn't speak, but her smile lingered. Clara didn't know where she was going. Her thoughts were tangled. When she finally stopped the car, she realized she had driven to her apartment. Nora opened the locked door. Clara changed her clothes, then returned to find Nora smoking on the couch. Clara hadn't smoked in a long time, not since Nora left. The thick white smoke blurred half her face. Nora coughed, uneasy. She approached and wrapped her arms around Clara, tried to kiss her, but Clara turned away. Nora wiped her face, standing there silently. Clara picked up her phone. Nora caught a glimpse of the name on the screen. Ethan. Without thinking, Nora grabbed her hand. What are you doing? Clara frowned. She had never looked like this before. I'm calling my boyfriend. The joy drained from Nora's face. Clara looked at her, eyes steady. Didn't you take me because he looked like me? You took me away, but he was just a substitute. I'm back now. I'll be here. Clara Wren, I forgive you. Let's go back to the past. Clara stared, expressionless. The smoke still masked half her face, but the other half showed coldness. Her voice was calm. No, Nora, I owe you. You didn't want to get married, and I stood by you. But you shouldn't have hurt everyone else, your family, your fiancé, and my boyfriend. I took care of your feelings because I owed you. But I don't love you anymore. Nora collapsed like sand in a storm. But you owe me. Clara Wren, you owe me forever. Clara Wren, I called out, breathless, standing at the center of chaos. I figured it out. I don't care about the past. If you still want this today, let's be together. I don't want to marry anyone else. I don't want a lifetime with someone I don't love. I love you. Clara Wren, let's leave together. Please. The wedding stage had descended into disarray. I could hear elders weeping, trying to stop her. Life was like a rising tide, swallowing everything slowly. Clara stood still, her hands clenched tightly as if holding on to something invisible. Pain seemed to radiate through the air. I couldn't breathe. Then suddenly, she let go. I watched her rise to her feet. The crowd erupted, angry voices scolding Nora Blake for ruining the ceremony, condemning Clara Wren's ex-girlfriend for not showing up, blaming me for not protecting my girlfriend. The pressure in my chest built to a breaking point, but all I could do was stare at the empty space she left behind. Clara Wren reached for Nora Blake's hand and led her out. A few people tried to follow, but she pressed the gas pedal hard and sped off. The silence in the car was deafening. Nora didn't speak, but her smile lingered. Clara didn't know where she was going. Her thoughts were tangled. When she finally stopped the car, she realized she had driven to her apartment. Nora opened the locked door. Clara changed her clothes, then returned to find Nora smoking on the couch. Clara hadn't smoked in a long time, not since Nora left. The thick white smoke blurred half her face. Nora coughed, uneasy. She approached and wrapped her arms around Clara, tried to kiss her, but Clara turned away. Nora wiped her face, standing there silently. Clara picked up her phone. Nora caught a glimpse of the name on the screen. Ethan. Without thinking, Nora grabbed her hand. What are you doing? Clara frowned. She had never looked like this before. I'm calling my boyfriend. The joy drained from Nora's face. Clara looked at her, eyes steady. Didn't you take me because he looked like me? You took me away, but he was just a substitute. I'm back now. I'll be here. Clara Wren, I forgive you. Let's go back to the past. Clara stared, expressionless. The smoke still masked half her face, but the other half showed coldness. Her voice was calm. "No, Nora, I owe you. You didn't want to get married. And I stood by you. But you shouldn't have hurt everyone else, your family, your fiancé, and my boyfriend. I took care of your feelings because I owed you. But I don't love you anymore." Nora collapsed like sand in a storm. "But you owe me, Clara Wren. You owe me forever." Clara said nothing. She kept calling. The phone played a robotic message. "Sorry. The number you dialed is unavailable." She grew restless, wanting to call Ethan Vale. A WeChat message appeared, sent over 10 minutes ago. Just 3 words. "We broke up." She stood up and left, headed back to the venue to find him. Nora laughed behind her. "You think he loves you? He let his ex-girlfriend live in his house." Clara didn't respond. She walked out the door. Nora cried and laughed all at once. "You used him as a replacement. How do you know you weren't someone else's substitute?" Clara turned back, walked up to Nora, gripped her shoulders. "You want to know the truth?" Nora looked up, tears in her eyes. Clara whispered, "I won't tell you, but I will make sure you feel every ounce of pain I felt." Ethan Vale never returned her calls. Staff said he had taken an extended leave. Clara asked around, but no one knew where he went. For the first time, Clara felt helpless. It was like solving a complex equation with no final answer. On the 10th day of his absence, rain poured down again. Clara ran into Mia Holt downstairs. Mia froze. "Miss Wren, did you and Ethan break up?" Clara wanted to say no, but the words wouldn't come. Mia turned away. "You're luckier than he is. Ethan has always been conflicted." Clara remembered the early days, how Ethan had once pretended to be Nora, and how she had fallen for it. But over time, she saw the difference. He was gentle, kind, respectful, too perfect, yet when alone, he seemed hollow, like a ghost with no soul. They rarely shared intimacy. A simple kiss was the farthest they went. She thought he was just shy, but he always stood nearby, watching her. Sometimes, his gaze looked like a winter storm. She couldn't read it. She never knew his past, or why he avoided family topics, or the scars he hid. The truth was blurry. 2 days before his leave was due to end, Clara went to the cemetery Mia had mentioned. The groundskeeper noticed her confusion. He said, "You must be her twin. Lila Dawn." Clara was stunned. "I've worked here 3 years. A young man visited every week without fail. A quiet girl, buried here young." Pearl smile, gentle eyes. Clara didn't respond. She asked for Lila Dawn's location. The graveyard buzzed with insects and distant voices. Clara approached the stone. Ethan was there, thin as ever, a ghost against the gravestone. She whispered his name. He turned slowly, and for a moment, light flared in her vision. This is the simplest truth. I never expected Clara Wren to act out. She had always been the calm one, the girl who smiled gently no matter the situation. Lila Dawn and I were laughing, caught in a moment of joy. But Clara didn't smile this time. Her gaze was fixed on the black and white photo behind me. The silence stretched. Her voice, when it came, was soft, like a purple stream flowing through the room. "Ethan," she said, "when you look at me, what are you thinking about?" "What am I thinking about?" Every time I look at Clara Wren through that doorway, every time her silhouette flickers in the light, I see Lila Dawn. I use Clara's face to remember her. If Lila hadn't died, if she had lived, what would life look like now? I grew up in a forgotten alley deep in the city. My childhood was soaked in gossip and the stench of moldy sewers. Flies buzzed in places you wouldn't expect. My parents had long stopped caring. The line between life and death never felt distinct to me. There was a day, one of many, when my father beat me so hard I nearly lost consciousness. I remember my mother finally stepping in, saying, "Don't kill him." I wanted to die. Strange, isn't it? They were always afraid someone might find out, so they hid me in places that clothes could cover. But eventually, even hiding behind walls wasn't enough for them. They wanted to display their power publicly. I was insulted in front of strangers, my dignity shredded. I felt like I had been born to repay some unspoken debt. At 15, I stood on the edge of the 5th floor of the school building. The wind tugged at my sleeves. And for a moment, I thought, What if I jumped? That's when she appeared. Someone grabbed me, twisted my wrist behind my back, and we both tumbled to the ground. Her back scraped against the rough concrete, cutting open in 2 places. I landed unscathed. She looked into my eyes and gasped. Ethan Vale? Seriously? It's you? She knew me. Everyone knew me. Her tone softened. Why were you standing there? I said nothing. Got up. Walked away. She shouted after me. I didn't turn around. I didn't know how to be with people. I had always been alone. But Lila Dawn was relentless. Like an NPC in a mobile RPG game who keeps handing you a quest. Since that day, she kept seeking me out. I didn't hate it, but my instincts told me to run. Still, she kept showing up, until her presence felt routine. One day, my father ran into me on the way to school. Reeking of alcohol, he slapped me across the face in front of the entire alley. People watched, muttered, and turned away. I blinked through the pain. You disgust me, he spat. Lila saw everything. She walked over, furious. Who did this to you? My father. She went quiet. Her eyes shifted to my long sleeves. I zipped them up. Don't ask. For a moment, the world was hushed. I could hear her heartbeat, erratic. Then she grabbed my hand. Ethan Vale, let's run away together. After the college entrance exams. We'll pick a university far from here. Escape this hell. In the filthy yard filled with garbage and the stench of booze. She stood like light beneath a sunset. Her lips curved in a hesitant smile as she pressed a towel against my bruised face. Okay, I whispered. Lila walked me to school every day. She told her grandma I was helping her study so she could feed me. In truth, she was the smart one, but her mind was always elsewhere. With my help, her grades improved. We took the college entrance exam. The day the results came out, she dragged me outside. Ethan Vale, second in the whole province. You can go anywhere you want now. We shared a small cake. The candlelight reflected in her hair, like flickering flames that warmed my soul. Where do you want to go? She asked. I haven't thought about it. Then think. When you know, tell me. I'll go with you. Lila was fire, gentle, comforting, but just as I started to feel that warmth, it vanished. The local media wanted to interview me. I declined. Maybe that was the turning point. The day she saw my father hit me, she stopped showing up. She wandered the neighborhood. People pointed, whispered. My life became someone else's entertainment. The poor kid with the drunk parents. The genius who survived hell. My parents were condemned, even punished at work. But scum doesn't feel remorse. They blamed me. When they finally kicked me out, it was raining. You ungrateful bastard. Get out and never come back. My father shouted. Neighbors watched silently. Their whispers like knives. 18 years of pain collapsed on me all at once. Then Lila appeared. She didn't hesitate. She pushed through the crowd and took my hand. Ethan, it's okay. I've got you. You're not alone. I'm here. She brought me home. There were only 2 rooms. She gave me hers and slept with her grandma. I locked myself inside, pulled the curtains shut, curled into darkness. Old scars felt like insects crawling under my skin. Sometimes I'd go mad, clawing at my arms until I bled. The pain helped me feel real. Lila would sneak in at night to dress my wounds. She never judged. Sometimes I let her. Sometimes I resisted. But always, she stayed, even when I lashed out. Even when I reopened wounds she had just cleaned. She was the only light in my darkness. When she held me, I felt like I was finally seen. And I was terrified of losing her flame. Because deep down, I knew, Lila Dawn had become my reason to live. Just a bite on her shoulder. Lila Dawn didn't say a word. She just held me until my breath finally eased. There was a suffocating silence in the house. Lila Dawn. Ethan. She interrupted my thoughts. Her head was buried in my neck. Her hands trembled. I sensed something like amnesia. Like a falling star. Hot enough to burn me. It's okay, she kept whispering. I couldn't tell if she was trying to comfort me or herself. You're just sick, like you have a cold. As long as we go to the hospital. Take the medicine. Listen to the doctor. You'll get better. It will definitely get better. In the city's darkness, the smell of blood mixed with the faint scent of smoked grass clung to Lila Dawn. Dust floated in the stale air. Her body heat pressed heavily against me, so close I could feel her heart beating inside her chest. It was strange. I hadn't cried when my parents hit me and I couldn't make a sound. I didn't cry when my classmates bullied me. I didn't cry when everyone's eyes pointed accusingly at me. I didn't cry when I was kicked out of the house. But the warm liquid sliding down my face told me otherwise. I was crying. The tears were salty. I wanted to wipe them subconsciously. But Lila Dawn held me tighter. My heart pounded like thunder. Not just hers, mine. too. I closed my eyes. I wrapped my hands around her waist and said, "Yes, I'm just sick." Lila Dawn took me to the hospital for the first time, fully prepared. My words were true, but I was still very sick. She shielded me from curious eyes. I spoke softly. "Ethan, I'm here. Don't be afraid." "Ethan." The doctor said I needed to be hospitalized. But we didn't have the money. She handed me the medicine, antidepressants. Expensive and bitter. It was the start of a long, tiresome journey. Lila Dawn left early every morning and returned late at night, working part-time jobs. She supervised my medication and insisted I see a psychologist. She was half dark inside, but her eyes still shone bright. I could go outside again, but crowds still terrified me. One evening, she came back and found me helping Grandma Hazel pick vegetables in the yard. "Ethan, did you take your medicine today?" she asked, smiling like she was glowing. I washed my hands and ate. Then a tutor came by, wanting me to tutor other students. She glanced at me, and I agreed. I was the second tutor in the county, and the pay was good. I was just sick, but I'd get better, Lila Dawn promised. She seemed almost delirious with hope, smiling for so long and standing so close. "Yes, Ethan, it will be fine." As summer vacation neared its end, my condition improved. Lila Dawn stopped working for a while, saving money and thinking about business plans. Her college entrance score was 985, but she chose to attend the same school as me. After school started, we met every weekend. It cost $4 for a 2-hour bus ride. 2 people should stick together. Time flew. Eventually, I didn't need medicine anymore. Lila Dawn came to visit me. My roommate sometimes teased me about her. One day, waiting at the school gate, Lila Dawn approached and teased my roommate back. "Hey, who are you to Ethan?" Lila Dawn froze. Her ears flushed red. I stood beside her, feeling something I couldn't explain. She finally answered, hesitantly, "I'm his sister." My roommate was stubborn, but I just stared. I felt like my heart stopped. I was born early. My memory was sharp, better than most. I could solve problems others couldn't. But I didn't understand why. No one told me why I'd avoided Lila Dawn's contact for so long. Yet I felt happy every time she greeted me with that smile. Why didn't I feel sad? People cry. Why didn't I? Lila Dawn didn't take 2 steps before noticing something was wrong. "What's wrong?" she asked. I stopped, not meeting her eyes. "Why did you lie?" I asked bluntly. She hesitated, then smiled with a touch of innocence. "Aren't we family? I'm 1 month younger than you. You're really my brother." That word stunned me. I slowly rejected its meaning. Family? Was it really? Lila Dawn's cheeks turned pink. Her voice was steady. "We live together. Grandma Hazel likes you. I like you, too. Don't you like me? Us?" "Yes," I said, looking into her eyes. "I like Grandma Hazel. I like Lila Dawn. I liked Grandma Hazel, who made pumpkin cakes and called me a good boy. She said I was too thin and told me to eat more." I liked Lila Dawn's bright eyes. How she called me Ethan. How she promised she'd always be there. I liked her saying, "We're family." She'd scold me and hit my parents. But she'd also smile gently. Even though we weren't related by blood. "We are family. Lila Dawn. You are my very important family." She stayed for a moment. A flicker crossed her face. Then she vanished. She gently raised her hand and touched my shoulder. "You too, Ethan." I was serious back then. Years later, I thought about it over and over. If only I had spoken sooner. Read her words earlier. Told her then that my feelings were more than family. Maybe we'd have fewer regrets. Then Lila Dawn opened a bottle of wine again and kept asking me questions. I stood up, smashed the bottle on the floor. and stepped on the scattered shards. I have a good memory. I remember everything clearly, except the passage of time. Like a deliberately erased page. I didn't look at her. Twilight fell on the pale sky outside the window. It took me a long time to answer. Do you remember? 5 years ago, almost New Year's Eve, a car crashed into a crowd, killing 12 people. Mia froze, wanting to search her phone. I closed my eyes. Memories reawakened. The car was speeding. A huge crash. The crowd scattered. Someone pushed me hard on the waist. Then a scream, a cry. People rushed to hold a child lying on the road. Others ran crazily into traffic. In the end, everyone stood frozen in a pool of blood. Lila Dawn bled so much. How could one person bleed so much? I don't know. Time sped forward. The ambulance came. She was rushed into the emergency room. The light above the door flickered, dark, then bright. I lost count of how many times she was wheeled inside. I only remember the hospital corridor's bright lights and the cold of midnight. I counted the tiles over and over, from this end to that end. Then back again. Sometimes the count was one too many. Sometimes, in the end, I never got it right. When the lights went out for the last time, the doctor came out and shook his head. Let's say a few more words at the end, he said. When I went inside, Lila Dawn's eyes were half open, staring at the door. The ventilator covered half her face. The smell of blood was strong. When she saw me, she seemed to want to smile, but looked tired. I realized how pale she was. Gentle and quiet, like a princess in a European fairy tale. Lila Dawn tried to speak but couldn't. I removed the ventilator. She didn't say another word. She struggled to raise her hand, then lightly tickled me. My partner knelt by the bed, face close. Lila Dawn reached out slowly, gently, carefully. Her hand landed on my brow. It felt like touching precious silk, carving into my bones. Her fingers traced my brow, pinching lightly. It tickled. I didn't cry. I just stared at her. Lila Dawn looked back, eyes half closed, like she was laughing or looking more carefully. After a long moment, I heard her whisper my name. Ethan, my memory of Guan Shun. Her voice was weak, each word like lifting broken glass. You have to live well. Live well. But what did well mean? I didn't know, so I asked. Lila Dawn looked down. That's it. I seem to have asked too much. She hadn't thought about it. Study hard. Get your diploma. Find a job you love. She hesitated. It's like being stuck. A little hard to get out. Love. Marriage. Growing old. I stayed silent. She grew weaker. Don't stay up late. If you're sick, go to the hospital. Her voice got quieter. Ethan, I looked at her. Lila Dawn looked at me. Her dark hair like a stormy sea at night. Fierce waves. And deep. Indescribable. Her fingers stopped on my brow. She said softly, have a good meal, Ethan.